Alright, so in this problem, I have x to the power of 4 is equal to 4. So to solve this, I'm going to first start by subtracting 4 on both sides. So then these two cancel out, and now I have x to the power of 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. Now, I'm going to rewrite x to the power of 4 here as x to the power of 2 times 2. Now I have this minus 4, which is the same thing as 2 squared, is equal to 0. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m times n, this is the same thing as a to the power of m to the power of n. So x to the power of 2 times 2, I can rewrite as x to the power of 2 to the power of 2. Now I have this minus 2 squared is equal to 0. Now, if I have something in the form a squared minus b squared, this is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, a is x squared and b is 2. So now I have x squared plus 2 times x squared minus 2 is equal to 0. So now this gives me two equations. I get x squared plus 2 is equal to 0, and I get x squared minus 2 is equal to 0. So for x squared plus 2 equals 0, I can subtract 2 on both sides, so I get x squared is equal to negative 2. And then I can take the square root on both sides because I want to cancel out this power. So if I take the square root on both sides, the square root of x squared is simply x, so I get x is equal to positive or negative square root of negative 2. And if you guys already didn't know, the square root of negative 2, I can rewrite that as the square root of 2 times the square root of negative 1. And the square root of negative 1, this is actually equal to the imaginary number I. So I get x is equal to positive or negative square root of 2i. Now for this, I have x squared minus 2 equals 0. I can add 2 on both sides. These two cancel out. And I get x squared is equal to 2. Now if I take the square root on both sides, I get x is equal to positive or negative square root of 2. Alright, so in this problem, I have 2 to the power of x plus 4 to the power of x is equal to 8 to the power of x. So I'm going to first start by rewriting 4 as 2 squared and 8 as 2 to the power of 3. So now I have 2 to the power of x plus 2 squared to the power of x is equal to 2 to the power of 3 to the power of x. Now I can actually switch the places of these two exponents. So now I get 2 to the power of x plus 2 to the power of x to the power of 2 is equal to 2 to the power of x to the power of 3. Now I can let 2 to the power of x equal to the variable u. So now if I replace 2 to the power of x with u, I get u plus u squared is equal to u to the power of 3. And now if I subtract u squared and u on both sides, I get u to the power of 3 minus u squared minus u is equal to 0. Now I'm going to factor out u, so I get u times u squared minus u minus 1 is equal to 0. And this gives me two equations. I get u is equal to 0, and I get u squared minus u minus 1 is equal to 0. So as you see, we already have one solution of u. So now to solve this, I'm going to use the quadratic formula, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So in this case, a is 1, b is negative 1, and c is negative 1. So I have u is equal to negative of negative 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 1 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 1 all over 2 times 1. And this is equal to 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 minus, plus 4 over 2. And this is equal to 1 plus or minus the square root of 5 over 2. So these are two more solutions. So now remember how we let 2 to the power of x equal to u. So let's first start with u equaling 0. So we have 2 to the power of x equals 0. And there's actually no solution to this because you can't take the power of a number and make it equal 0. So now we have u is equal to 1 minus the square root of 5 over 2. And 1 minus the square root of 5, that's going to be a negative number, and negative number divided by 2 is a negative number. And you can't take the power of a positive number and make it a negative number, so this is wrong as well. So finally, I have u is equal to 1 plus the square root of 5 over 2. And for this, I have 2 to the power of x is equal to 1 plus the square root of 5 over 2. I can take the log on both sides, so I get log 2 to the power of x is equal to 1 plus the square root of 5 over 2. So I can move this to the front, and I get x times log 2 is equal to 1 plus the square root of 5 over 2. So if I divide both sides by log 2, these two cancel out, and I get x is equal to 1 plus the square root of 5 over 2 log 2. Alright, so in this problem, I have 2 to the power of x minus 2 to the power of y is equal to 2016. So, just at first glance from this problem, I can already tell that x is greater than y because we have 2 to the power of x minus 2 to the power of y equals 2016. And if x were less than y, then this would result in a negative number. But because it results in a positive number, we know that x is going to be greater than y. So this means that we can say that x is equal to y plus some constant k. So now, if I replace x with y plus k, I get 2 to the power of y plus k minus 2 to the power of y is equal to 2016. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m plus n, this is equal to a to the power of m times a to the power of n. So 2 to the power of y plus k, that's going to equal 2 to the power of y times 2 to the power of k. Now I have this minus 2 to the power of y is equal to 2016. Now I can factor out 2 to the power of y. So I have 2 to the power of y times 2 to the power of k minus 1 is equal to 2016. Now I can rewrite 2016 as 32 times 63. And now notice that I have an even number times an odd number. And over here, I have an even number, 2 to the power of any number is even, and I have an odd number, 2 to the power of any number is even, and an even number minus 1 is going to be an odd number. So, meaning these two are equal to each other, and these two are equal to each other. So I have 2 to the power of y is equal to 32, and 2 to the power of k minus 1 is equal to 64. Or sorry, 2 to the power of k minus 1 is equal to 63. So let's first start with 2 to the power of y equals 32. So we have 2 to the power of y is equal to 32, and 32, this is the same thing as 2 to the power of 5. So I have 2 to the power of y is equal to 2 to the power of 5, meaning y is equal to 5. Now, for 2 to the power of k minus 1 equals 63, I'm going to first start by adding 1 on both sides, so these two cancel out. So now I have 2 to the power of k is equal to 64. 64, that's the same thing as 2 to the power of 6, meaning k is equal to 6. Now remember, x is equal to y plus k, so x is equal to 5 plus 6, meaning x equals 11. Alright, so in this video, we're going to be solving the equation x to the power of x is equal to 8. So, at first glance, this problem may look challenging. So to solve this, I'm going to first start by taking the ln, or natural log, on both sides. So I get ln x to the power of x is equal to ln 8. And a helpful property that comes with logarithms is that if I have something in the form ln a to the power of b, I can move this exponent to the front, so this turns into b times ln a. So in this case, I have ln x to the power of x, and I can move x to the front. So now I get x times ln x is equal to ln 8. Now from here, I'm going to use another formula that states that if I have something in the form w of a times e to the power of a, this is equal to a. And this is something known as the W-Lambert formula. So if I take the w of something in the form a times e to the power of a, it's going to equal a. So in this case, I'm going to rewrite this as ln x times e to the power of ln x is equal to ln 8, because x is the same thing as e to the power of ln x. So now I can use this formula. So I'm going to take the w on both sides. So I have w of ln x times e to the power of ln x is equal to, what I have to do on one side, I have to do the other side. So I w of ln 8. And this simply turns into e to the power of ln x is equal to, ln x is equal to w of ln 8. And then now I'm going to take e to the power of both sides. So I get e to the power of ln x is equal to e to the power of w of ln 8. And e and ln cancel out. So I get x is equal to e to the power of w of ln 8. So this is my value of x. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and share this to any of your friends and family members. And I have a lot of problems like these on my channel, so please make sure to go ahead and check them out. Thank you guys for watching.